external features of the heart. Today we will be seeing the internal features of the chambers of the heart. So now let us quickly recap as to how we hold the heart in the normal anatomical position. So this is the apex, which we said should lie between the outstretched thumb and the index finger, and the diaphragmatic surface should rest on the palm, and the great vessels should be in the correct orientation. So this is how we hold the heart in the normal anatomical position. Now let us see the chambers, identify the chambers of the heart here. This is the right auricle, right atrium. This chamber here is the right ventricle. This is the left ventricle, and when we see the posterior surface or the base, this is where we see the left atrium. So now let us see the features in the interior of these chambers. Now when we are saying this is the right auricle and this is the right atrium, this is the superior vena cava and this is the opening of the inferior vena cava. So we have seen that there is a groove here which runs between the openings of superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, and that is the sulcus terminalis. Now when we take an incision through the sulcus terminalis and we see interior of the right atrium, we see the smooth part and the rough part. Now what we see here is the rough part, which is seen as a elevated ridge which is called as the crista terminalis, and from that ridge we see horizontally running ridges. Those are called as the musculi pectinati. So the right auricle, the crista terminalis and the musculi pectinati constitute the rough part of the interior of the right atrium, whereas opposite that is the smooth part or the posterior wall or the interatrial septum, which shows the oval depression, which is the fossa ovalis. It shows the opening of the right atrioventricular orifice guarded by the three cusps, and it shows the opening of the coronary sinus guarded by the valve. So these are structures seen in the smooth part of the right atrium: the fossa ovalis, the coronary sinus opening, the opening of the right atrioventricular orifice. We then move on to the interior of the right ventricle. When we see the interior of the right ventricle, this again shows smooth and rough components. The rough part here is seen as ridges, bridges and pillars. Now these ridges or elevations on the wall of the ventricle are called as the trabeculae carneae. The pillars are the three papillary muscles. Now let us identify the papillary muscles here. This is one of the papillary muscles, the anterior papillary muscle. What we see here is the posterior papillary muscle with the fine strands or the chordae tendineae which attach or go up to the cusps of the atrioventricular valve. And the third one is the septal papillary muscle. So three papillary muscles, anterior, posterior and septal. What we also see here is the moderator band or the septomarginal trabeculae, which runs from the base of the anterior papillary muscle to the interventricular septum. That is the bridge. So three features which we see here: the ridges, those are the trabeculae carneae; the pillars, those are the papillary muscles; and the bridge, which is the moderator band. These are seen in the rough part of the right ventricle, whereas the smooth part is the outflowing part of the right ventricle, which leads to the opening of the pulmonary trunk. Now these were the features of the interior of the right atrium and the right ventricle. Now let us see the interior of the left ventricle. Interior of the left ventricle also shows smooth and rough part. The rough part here has only two features, that is the ridges and the pillars. So what we see here on the wall are the trabeculae carneae, which are seen as the ridges, and we see two papillary muscles, that is the anterior and the posterior papillary muscles. Whereas the smooth outflowing part here is going to lead us to the opening of the ascending aorta. One difference which we should note here is in the thickness of the wall of the left ventricle, which is 3 times thicker as compared to the wall of the right ventricle. Now we have seen the interior of the left ventricle. We now move on to see the interior of the left atrium. Now this is the posterior surface or the base of the heart formed by the left atrium, and when we see the interior of the left atrium, unlike other chambers, the entire interior of the left atrium is smooth. As you can see, the entire interior is smooth. The rough component of the left atrium is limited only to the left auricle, and this smooth component shows us the posterior part of the interatrial septum, and what we see here is a semilunar shaped depression which is seen exactly opposite the fossa ovalis of the right atrium, and this semilunar depression is called as the fossa lunata. That is the only feature which we see in the interior of the left atrium. So with this we have seen the interior of all the 4 chambers of the heart. We started with interior of the right atrium, then we saw the right ventricle, then the left ventricle, and finally we saw interior of the left atrium.